All right, let's dive right in, shall we? Today we're tackling a pretty exciting career path, marine firefighting. And we're going to make sure you absolutely nail that interview. Yeah.
You got it.
We've got some awesome resources for you today. We're talking RoleCatcher's career and interview guides, specifically for marine firefighters. They're packed with insights and even sample questions you might get asked.
Not just that, they even use AI to give you tailored feedback so you can really stand out.
Now, before we jump into those interview questions, I think it's important to set the scene a little bit. So, what exactly does a marine firefighter do?
Forget your average 9-to-5 desk job, right?
Oh, yeah, this is definitely not for someone who wants to be stuck inside.
Exactly. We're talking about battling fires on ships, oil rigs, you name it.
And it's not just about putting out fires, is it?
Nope, you're also enforcing safety regulations, assessing damage, dealing with all sorts of hazardous materials.
Sounds intense.
It is. You gotta have nerves of steel for this job.
Definitely not for the faint of heart. But hey, our listeners wouldn't be here if they weren't up for a challenge, right? So let's talk a bit more about RoleCatcher.
Okay, so RoleCatcher is amazing because it's like having a personalized coach for your job hunt.
Right. And the AI, right? It does all the heavy lifting for you.
It's like magic. It goes through tons of job descriptions, figures out exactly what employers are looking for, and then helps you tailor your CV and even your answers to match perfectly.
No more guessing games. You know you're highlighting the right skills. Plus, it's free, which is amazing.
Free is always good.
Okay, enough chit-chat. Let's dive into those interview questions, shall we? RoleCatcher's interview guide has 9 sample questions that are really likely to come up. We're going to break them down one by one, what the interviewer is really trying to find out, how to approach your answer, and even some potential follow-up questions. So picture this. You're sitting in the interview chair, feeling a little nervous maybe, and the interviewer leans forward and says, "Can you describe your experience working as a marine firefighter?" Sounds simple, right?
Well, it might seem like a softball question, but there's more to it than meets the eye.
What do you mean?
They're not just looking for a list of your past jobs. They want to see if you truly understand what this role entails.
I see. They want to see if you've actually walked the walk.
Yeah. Have you faced those unique challenges that come with marine firefighting?
So how should someone answer this?
Don't just rattle off job titles. Tell a story. Bring those experiences to life with concrete examples.
Show, don't tell.
Right. Don't just say you're a team player. Describe a time you collaborated with your team to put out a tricky fire.
I like that. Make it memorable, right?
And, be prepared for them to dig deeper. They might ask, can you tell me about a time you had to make a tough decision during a firefighting operation? What factors did you consider, and what was the outcome?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, they want to see how you think on your feet, how you make decisions under pressure, especially when lives are at stake.
You got to be able to stay calm and think clearly, even when things are getting, well, heated.
Exactly. And safety should always be your top priority. Okay, next question. Imagine the interviewer asks, how do you stay up to date with the latest firefighting techniques and technologies?
This is your chance to show you're committed to lifelong learning.
Absolutely. The firefighting world is constantly evolving, new tech, new strategies, so you got to stay ahead of the curve.
So how do you demonstrate that in an interview setting?
Well, talk about industry publications or websites you follow, maybe any special training or certifications you've gotten, conferences you've attended, that kind of thing.
And don't just name drop those.
No. Bring it to life. How have you used that knowledge in the field? Maybe you implemented a new safety protocol or used a new piece of equipment. Show them you're actually putting that knowledge into practice.
Great point. Okay, next up is a question that really gets at those high-pressure moments. They might ask, can you describe a time when you had to work under significant pressure to put out a fire?
Oh, this is where you get to showcase your resilience.
Right, how you handle stress.
Exactly. Choose a time where you faced a particularly tough fire, maybe one that required some quick thinking.
Focus on how you kept your cool, how you communicated with your team, and of course, how you achieved a positive outcome.
They want to see that you can handle the heat, literally, and still make good decisions.
All right, let's shift gears a bit. The interviewer might ask, can you describe your approach to working in a team environment?
This one's all about your people skills.
Marine firefighting is all about teamwork, right?
Absolutely. You've got to be able to collaborate effectively. So highlight your communication skills, your ability to listen, to respect different viewpoints, and to support your teammates.
Even when things are crazy.
Especially when things are crazy. And be prepared for some follow-up questions here.
Like what?
They might ask about challenges you faced working in a team and how you overcame them, or a time when you had to step up into a leadership role. Show them you can handle those dynamics.
Makes sense. Okay, let's get a little more technical. They might ask, can you describe your experience with firefighting equipment and tools? Now's your time to show off that expertise.
Yeah, they want to know you're comfortable with the tools of the trade. Fire hoses, breathing apparatus, thermal imaging cameras, all that good stuff.
Be specific about what you've used, the procedures you know,
Yeah,
and any specialized skills or certifications you have.
absolutely.
And I think it's also a good time to mention any experience you have with maintaining or even troubleshooting equipment. Shows you're resourceful.
Right. And they might throw a curveball and ask something like, can you describe a time when you had to improvise with limited equipment? That's where your problem-solving skills come in.
Okay, question number 6. Can you describe a time when you had to make a difficult decision in a firefighting situation?
Ooh, another tough one.
This is about leadership, ethical decision-making, and of course, putting safety first.
Think back to a situation where you had to make a tough call. Maybe you had limited information or conflicting priorities.
Walk them through the scenario, the options you considered, what ultimately influenced your decision, and what the outcome was.
They want to see that you can think critically and act decisively in a challenging situation.
Okay, next up, they ask, can you describe your experience with search and rescue operations?
Marine firefighting isn't just about putting out fires, it's also about saving lives.
Absolutely.
Be ready to talk about your experience with search and rescue techniques, safety protocols, and any specialized training you have.
And don't forget to highlight your ability to stay calm under pressure, assess risks, communicate effectively, all those things.
And you might get some follow-up questions about specific scenarios, like how would you approach a search and rescue in rough seas? Or what are the key factors to consider when evacuating passengers from a burning vessel?
Oh, I can see those questions coming now. Okay, on to question number 8. Can you describe a time when you had to use your judgment to adapt to a changing situation during a firefighting operation?
You got to be adaptable in this job.
Things rarely go exactly according to plan, right?
Never. Fires are unpredictable. So choose a situation where you had to deviate from the initial plan, because of unexpected challenges.
Describe the obstacles you faced and how you adapted, how you used your judgment and experience.
And show them how your quick thinking led to a positive outcome.
Okay, last question in this rapid-fire round. They ask, can you describe your experience with marine firefighting operations?
Now, this might seem redundant at first, but it's your chance to tie everything together.
And make a lasting impression.
Exactly. Highlight any specialized training you have, maybe experience with specific types of vessels or unique challenges you've faced.
What makes you stand out?
Right. Let them see that you're not just qualified, you're passionate about this work.
Great advice. Well, we just covered 9 tough interview questions, but don't go anywhere. Coming up, we're going to delve into career advancement opportunities and how RoleCatcher can help you throughout your entire marine firefighting journey.
Yeah, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, so let's say you've nailed that interview. You're in, right. But what's next? You want to build a killer career, right? Well, RoleCatcher's career guide actually maps out some pretty exciting paths you can take as a marine firefighter.
Okay, lay it on me. What kind of paths are we talking about?
Well, you could work your way up to a supervisory role. Or you could specialize in something like hazardous materials.
Hazardous materials. That sounds intense.
Yeah, it's a critical area. Or you could even become, get this, a marine firefighter instructor.
Wow, so you could actually train the next generation of firefighter.
Exactly. It's all about finding what you're passionate about and then going for it.
That's awesome. But the thing is, the firefighting world, it changes so fast, right? New tech, new techniques. How do you even keep up with it all?
Well, that's where continuous learning comes in. And you know what? RoleCatcher can help you with that too. It can actually point you towards relevant courses and certifications, so you're not just keeping up, you're staying ahead of the game.
Okay, I like that. So what kind of courses and certifications are we talking about?
Well, there's stuff like advanced firefighting techniques, emergency response management, incident command systems.
Incident command systems, what are those?
Yeah, so basically it's a standardized way to manage emergencies. Make sure everyone's on the same page, communicating clearly, following a clear chain of command. It's really important for large-scale responses.
Got it. So those certifications can really open doors to leadership roles.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you know what else is great? The career stages section of the guide, it actually breaks down what a typical Marine firefighter's career might look like at different points in time.
So like 5 years in, 10 years in.
Exactly. It's really cool to see how much you can grow in this field. For example, 5 years from now, you could be leading a team, mentoring new recruits, even managing those large-scale emergency responses we were talking about.
That's inspiring. So certifications are like stepping stones to those higher level roles.
They are. The guide actually highlights 3 really key certifications that can give you a real edge.
Okay, tell me more.
So first, there's the basic firefighting certification. That's your foundation. You got to have that one.
Makes sense. What's next?
Then there's the marine firefighting certification. This one proves you have the specialized knowledge to handle fires in those unique marine environments.
Ah, I see. Fires on a ship are totally different than fires on land.
Right, different techniques, different equipment. It's a whole different ballgame. And then last but not least, there's the hazardous materials awareness certification.
So that's all about dealing with those dangerous substances that can make fires even more unpredictable.
Exactly. You got to know how to handle those safely.
Okay, so those 3 certifications, they're like your badges of honor.
Pretty much. They show everyone that you're competent, that you're committed to safety. They make you more valuable to any team. And yeah, they can definitely help you get those leadership positions.
Got it. So we've got a good understanding of the career path, those key certifications. But before we move on, let's circle back to RoleCatcher for a second. How can its AI specifically help someone land that marine firefighting job?
Oh, the AI tools are awesome. So first, there's the CV tailoring feature.
CD tailoring. Sounds fancy. What is that?
So RoleCatcher's AI, it actually analyzes job descriptions, figures out exactly what keywords and skills employers are looking for, and then it seamlessly weaves those into your CV.
Whoa, so it's like having a professional resume writer on hand.
Pretty much. Makes your CV super targeted to each job you apply for.
No more generic resumes, huh?
Nope. And there's more. RoleCatcher also has a huge library of interview questions, way more than we talked about today.
Oh, that's awesome. So you can practice your answers.
Yes, and you get feedback from the AI. It helps you refine your answers, perfect your delivery. It's like having a secret weapon for your interview.
Wow. And all this for free. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But I do have a question. How accurate is this AI feedback? Can it really tailor answers for every single job out there?
That's a good question. Remember, AI is a tool, and like any tool, it's most effective when you use it strategically.
Okay, I see what you mean.
The feedback it gives, it's based on patterns and trends, what works in successful applications. But you still need to use your own judgment.
Right. You got to tailor those answers to the specific role in the company you're applying for.
Exactly. Think of it as a guide, not a script.
Makes sense. Use the AI as a starting point and then add your own personal touch.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground here. Our listeners are probably feeling pretty fired up about the marine firefighting career prospects.
I hope so. We talked about the work itself, tackled those tough interview questions, and even mapped out some exciting career paths. But before we wrap up this whole deep dive, I want to go back to something we mentioned earlier. The future of marine firefighting.
Ooh, yeah. All that exciting tech we were talking about, the drones, the robots. Exactly. Technology is going to play a huge role in shaping this field. And I think it's a good time to, get creative. Think about what innovations could make this work even safer and more effective in the future.
Right, I'm game. What if we had firefighting drones with thermal imaging cameras? They could zoom into those hard-to-reach areas, pinpoint hotspots, even guide rescue efforts.
That's a great idea. And imagine robots that could go into areas that are too dangerous for humans, right?
That's incredible. They could assess the damage, control hazardous leaks, even put out fires in those high-risk zones.
Think about how much safer that would be for the firefighters.
And more efficient, too. You could minimize damage and have those super precise emergency responses. This is getting me excited. But with all this talk of robots and drones, does that mean human firefighters are going to become, well, obsolete?
That's the big question, right? It's something a lot of industries are grappling with. While technology is definitely going to play a bigger and bigger role, I think the human element will always be crucial.
What do you mean?
I mean, think about it. The courage of a firefighter, their quick thinking, their ability to adapt, that's irreplaceable.
That makes sense. So technology should enhance their capabilities and not replace them altogether.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance.
So, for our aspiring marine firefighters out there, as you're preparing for those interviews, keep those possibilities in mind. Don't just think about today, think about tomorrow, Show them you're excited about the future of firefighting.
Yeah, show them you're ready to embrace it, be part of it.
Who knows, maybe you'll be the one who develops the next big technology that revolutionizes the whole field. All right, ready for one final question before we wrap things up?
Hit me with it.
Okay, so imagine this. You're in that interview, things are going well, and the interviewer says, how do you envision the future of marine firefighting? What role will technology play? What do you say?
That's a great question to end on. Because it really shows them that you're not just thinking about getting the job, but that you're thinking about the bigger picture.
Yeah. And it ties into everything we've been talking about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, those drones, those robots, AI systems, all that stuff, this is your chance to paint a picture of what marine firefighting could look like in the future.
So don't be afraid to get creative.
Not at all. Maybe you read about a new fire-resistant material. Or maybe you have ideas for how VR could be used to train firefighters. Let them see that you're thinking outside the box.
Show them you're not just looking for a job, you're looking to make a real difference.
Right. And, you know, even if your ideas sound a little futuristic, it just shows that you're passionate, that you're willing to learn and adapt. Those are all good qualities to have.
Okay, so to wrap things up, we've covered a lot today. We talked about what marine firefighters actually do, those tricky interview questions you might encounter, and some really exciting career paths you can explore.
Yeah, we really went deep.
We did. But remember, landing the job is just the first step. What really matters is your dedication, your commitment to learning, and of course, always putting safety first.
That's what makes a great marine firefighter.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one leading the way, developing those groundbreaking technologies that make the whole field even safer and more effective.
It's an exciting time to be in this field, that's for sure.
It is. So keep that curiosity alive, keep pushing the boundaries, and never stop learning.
And don't forget about RoleCatcher.
Oh yeah, that's right. RoleCatcher is your secret weapon. Those AI tools, the resources, all there for you, totally free. So use them.
Tailor that CV, practice those answers, and get ready to embark on an incredible journey.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So that's it for this deep dive. Stay safe out there and keep those ambitions burning bright.